All right. Welcome to another edition of the Fifth Down Show. Welcome. And as we get started up here on YouTube going here, let me get everything set up and getting everything set up. We got a tournament. We are live from the Gino Nash studio here in West Haven, Connecticut. We're going from the studio today because we had a little bit too much fun last night at Diana's birthday party. A Beetlejuice celebration last night at Billy Martin's. So we today was not the day to trek down to Z's. So unfortunately, I am doing the show live from the studio rather than on location. But we are here. We are live on Blogtalk Radio. We are live on YouTube. We got the StreamYard up. The StreamYard is in the chat. If you want to be a part of the show, by all means, call the show 646-668-8415. We already have somebody on the line, so let me get over to that. I believe this is Lou, so let's bring Lou on. Lou, what's happening, man?
All right. Yeah. I had to check to see what you were on, and you were. I don't know if you were on last week or not because of the 4th of July holidays. So I just thought I'd try.
No, last week we took a little 4th of July break. We were gonna do something, but work got crazy. Work was crazy last week, so we kind of said, you know what? It's a vacation. It's a holiday. Let's celebrate the holidays. So we did it that way. Like I said, we were celebrating Diana's birthday last night, so I am live in the studio. And we will get to the Summer of Greatness in a minute. As today we are doing Greatest TV Family. So Lou, think of greatest TV families. As always, we'll nominate. We'll select our candidates for the tournament, and we will get to all. And then we'll select the categories. Then we'll select the tournament. Then we'll go head-to-head matchups based on the categories that we have presented. For that, we'll get to that. But for the start of this show, and for everything that I have to do, I do have to start with what happened yesterday. And I do have to say to the lovely Jane Theory, we will miss you. Jane has decided for personal reasons to not do the YouTube, not do the live streams as much as she wants. She said she's still going to do the gaming, and I saw her earlier today gaming on Starship Troopers, and I know she's doing that right now. I know people are watching X-Ray Girl as all of them. Quarterback Garrett play Starship Troopers. I was in there chatting it up with the guys. Look, Jane, we love you. We'll always be here for you. Your chats on Saturday were amazing. And just to say this, to put it out in the ether out there, because if it's not said, nobody knows about it. But Jane, your Saturday morning chats are part of the reason that I have started a venture that I rarely talk about because it's not done yet, because it's still in the process. I'm still in the process of making it. But I have taken it upon myself, and my boy Marshall prompted me into this, and we're working on making this a reality. but I am working on a television script, and I have been working on it for the past year, which is kind of why this show has been choppy and why there hasn't been as much production into this show, because I've been working on writing this script. And the reason I started writing this is because of all the feedback, all the stuff that I got from being in Jane's chat and from listening to Jane talk about entertainment. Every time she does something, every time Gary from Nerdrotic is breaking down something, every time Drinker puts out a video, Open Bars, Mahler puts out a video, Little Platoon, Disparu, all these guys, when they put out a review of some, whether it's a movie or a television series, everything that they do has an effect on how I'm writing this script and how I'm trying to present the characters in my script, so that my script doesn't fall into the trap of a lot of these entertainment stuff out there. So to Jane, you have been an inspiration to not only doing this as a YouTube channel, but to my future endeavors. So, as I said in the Discord, to Jane, you will be missed, and I'm sorry to see you go, but we all understand. We all understand that people need a break sometimes. People need to do what's best for them. So no one is going to hold that against you at all. And if you decide to come back, if you decide to post a video, if you decide to go into a stream, Jane, Fifth Down will be there. And as we've always said, Jane, when we're talking about some kind of entertainment thing, you are more than welcome to always come on our show and talk to us. And we are holding out hope that Jane will join us for the greatest fantasy genre tournament that we have planned for later on in the summer. But that being said, yesterday's stream, Jane explained why she was leaving. It was an emotional stream. It was a roller coaster, but just know everybody's okay with it. You're not letting anybody down. You have nothing to be sorry about. Jane, you're great, and you continue to inspire all of us that do this. That do this, that will do reviews, that will write stuff. You're an inspiration to this channel, and we will always, there's no way to pay back what the inspiration that you've given us. So Jane, congratulations. Good luck with whatever it is you decide to do going forward. And we have to say that at the start of the program. And with that, moving on, we will attack the greatest television families. Now, what does it mean to be a television family? It means you have a father, mother, daughter, son, probably a neighbor involved. So we're looking at the whole thing. As far as the family unit, we're going to take each part of the family unit and put it into our categories. But when we're looking at a TV family, we're really looking at all the characters, how they interact with each other, what qualities they do best. and we're gonna name a lot of them. Of course, there are so many of them. There are so many TV families out there, and going back. Of course, I grew up. In the 90s, so a lot of these shows are going to come from the 90s, and a lot of these are going to come from shows I watched when I was growing up. Of course, TGIF was a big thing when I was a youngster. I remember ABC had Thursday nights where they had family programming, and that was a big thing back in the day. It was a big thing to have TV families, and a lot of the programming that I watched that I grew up on really involved the family unit, whether it was a serious drama or a comedy. You had multiple people playing multiple roles, and that was that's kind of the point here, is that it's not just one certain thing. It's that these family units, they connect on so many levels, and it made you think of your own family, how you interact with your own family. So I've always looked to that as something that we've got. So Lou, are you ready? Are you ready to do the greatest TV families?
Yes.
All right. So let's open up. So as we always do, I made kind of a list. I made kind of a list earlier. I'm just setting up the tabs right now. So give me a minute to set the tabs up, and then we will select and just make sure I did enough, and I did. All right. And again, if you want to get involved, by all means, join us in the chat. Join us by calling 646-668-8415. Jump in and jump in. Join the chat. You can join us to if we're in the selection process. You can join us in there. If we're at the tournament section, you can join us and help us judge. So all of that is possible. You can also jump in. The StreamYard link is up. So you can join us in the YouTube chat. You can call us, or you can join us via video. However you would like to get to us, we're here for you. And we have another caller on the line, so let's bring them on and let's see what we got. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Fit Down Show.
Can you suck your own cock?
No, I can't.
Oh, one of those calls.
But thanks for joining us, man.
It's a great time. You should really try.
I will. I would. Hey, whatever floats your boat, bro. Whatever floats your boat, bro. Whatever. I mean, and look, people do certain things, man. It happens. So it's okay. It's okay. To each their own, but not my cup of tea. So, all right. That being said, Lou, we're gonna open it up to the greatest TV family, and I gotta start with probably the family I watched the most. And not only did I watch them the most as growing up, still to this day they run the program. I got to start with the Bundys, Married with Children. I mean, Al Bundy, Peggy Bundy. You've got you got Kelly, Bud. You got Buck the dog. You got the neighbors with the Darcys. Both iterations of the neighbor. When you had Steve Rhodes and you had Jefferson Darcy. So you got the Bundys hit pretty much all the aspects that we look for when we do those kinds of when we're looking at that. So I gotta start with Married with Children. That's my go-to. My second entry is not exactly the it's a lesser known, but to me, this is the greatest. This was my favorite sitcom growing up, and Patrick Duffy, Suzanne Summers, and the whole crew there. I'm going step by step.
Good choice.
Again, Patrick Duffy, Suzanne Summers. You have brothers and sisters galore. You've got not a neighbor, but you have Uncle Cody, who was the comic relief that they added in. I was at the bar the other day, and for some reason it just came on the TV, and that's really where this topic came from. Is I saw Step by Step on TV, and I said we got to do TV families. So Step by Step is in on the list. That being said, Step by Step was part of TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. Growing up. So we've got to hit them all, and there's no bigger draw than Danny Tanner and Full House. Of course, Bob Saget, cousin Joey.
Yeah.
You've got John Stamos. You got John Stamos, and of course you got the Olsen twins. You've got DJ. Where they're going to draw short is there's really no brother in Full House. It's all daughters, because you got DJ and DJ, Stephanie, and then you have Michelle, which was of course the Olsen twins played the one character. So it'll be tough for them to get by. There's one that will trip up. There's one category that will trip up everybody, but that's a big hole in Full House's arsenal.
30 years earlier, another sitcom tried to do the same thing.
30 years earlier, who are you thinking of?
Yeah, My Three Sons.
Oh my, we can do that. We can put them in.
Well, the only difference was you didn't have Uncle Jesse, you had Uncle Charlie.
Yeah.
Same premise.
Yeah, same.
Instead of raising this version, doing Three Sons, it was three daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the opposite of My Three Sons.
Yeah.
My Three Daughters falling down.
Yeah. So we've got we'll put them in. Of course, you cannot talk about TV families since we're already in the old school version. You cannot talk about TV families without having the Brady Bunch. The Brady's are a legend in the field. So you've got to have the Brady Bunch involved if we're talking about TV families. Going back to our TGIF, of course you got Carl Winslow and Family Matters. Of course you got Urkel. So Family Matters is on the list. So Family Matters gets in, and I'm just trying to go through the ones I put in here. So now I think that's pretty much the TGIF lineup as far as the Friday night's concerned. But now we got to go to the other one, and look, there's no bigger actor that's ever come out of the sitcom world than you. I mean, you talk about this. You talk about Tim Allen. When you think of Tim Allen, the first thing you think of is Tool Time, and you think of Home Improvement. So I got to go with the Taylors Home Improvement. Home Improvement is on the list. So Home Improvement, Home Improvement making the list. All right, this is a newer one, a newer type show. A lot of people would probably have missed this. Would probably miss this show because it ran for actually 5 seasons, but the first 3 seasons, John Ritter was awesome in 8 Simple Rules. 8 Simple Rules was great. And I will tell you this right now. Yeah. The greatest episode of television in the history of television is the episode that they shot immediately after John Ritter passed. And the way they shot that episode, and I see Rod on here. Rod says the Costanza family. I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to that in a minute as we get this. But no, the greatest episode of television you will ever see is the episode where John Ritter passed away in the middle of making this show, and they wrote it on the fly. And the emotion of the character's emotions, you know, there's a lot of times you watch a show and you think, oh, you know, people wouldn't act like that. That's not how. I've watched this episode so many times. It's heartbreaking. Watching that episode is heartbreaking. The way the characters act is exactly how a family would act. You know, it's so good, and there's so many pieces to it. Like the anger, there's anger in it. There's sadness. There's all of these emotions, and each character plays them out perfectly. It's such a good episode. And it was one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites. You know, it was towards the tail end. But I used to make time in college to make sure I watched the episode of 8 Simple Rules, because again, we didn't have streaming back then. We didn't have DVRs back then. It was, if you missed it, you missed it. So, but it was appointment viewing for me to watch 8 Simple Rules. Love that show. So that's on the list. Rod with another good one, and we'll put them in the Heck family. The Heck family, Malcolm in the Middle. Malcolm in the Middle. Look, if not for Malcolm in the Middle, we probably don't get Breaking Bad. So if Malcolm in the Middle was not as great as it was, and Frankie Muniz was great as Malcolm, I talked about it a little bit before. I talked about the TV script I'm writing. Malcolm in the Middle is actually one of the things. I'm not going to go too much into what it's about until I fully write it. And we have everything going down, but Malcolm in the Middle is one of the things I draw from when I'm writing that script. So Malcolm in the Middle is definitely part of this list. Plus you got the janitor from Scrubs as the father, and he's fantastic. He's fantastic in Malcolm in the Middle. So Rod, we got you on here, Rod. We got you on with Malcolm in the Middle. Now, when you said the Costanza film, the one reason I don't put the Costanzas on here is because the show was not created. Seinfeld's not created around them. So they're kind of just there. They're kind of just in the show. So it's not about and don't get me wrong here. If they made a show, if they made a spinoff called The Costanzas, it would have been a massive hit. It would be a massive hit today.
Sure.
You could have.
Well, I would say, what is the deal?
you could do that. You could.
I had to throw it in, man. I had to throw it in.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm all for it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but no.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You could do that today. You could write a show called The Costanzas. You just get Larry David to okay it, and it would be a guaranteed hit. It would be a guaranteed hit. There's no doubt in my mind that would be a guaranteed hit. All right, so on to the next one. We got to go on to the next one on my list. And I'm going to, we went back in the days, Lou. Look, I'm going. You got mother, father, sister, son, and the crazy uncle that lived upstairs. You got to go with Happy Days. The Cunningham family. The Cunningham family, and with Arthur Fonzarelli living in the attic. Happy Days has gotta be on the list. Everybody knows the Fonz. Everybody knows it. So I'm we continued to watch. We watched it all the time. I remember watching it. We used to watch it at daycare all the time. At daycare, we used to watch it all the time. Next on the list, Rod gets it. I'm going with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Banks family. Now, they've tried to destroy the Banks family in the new iteration of the Fresh Prince, which is absolute garbage.
Don't go there.
It's absolute garbage what they've tried to do. They have basically taken everything away, but Philip Banks is a great character. Carlton's a great character. The sisters are great. Of course, you got Will Smith joining the cast. So everything is there for Fresh Prince. So Fresh Prince is on the list. Definitely was a part of was definitely a staple growing up. Going back to the new school families, there's no better family right now than the Goldbergs. I love the Goldbergs. Now, of course, the father, Jeff Goodman, got out while the getting was good. But man, he was such a great character. Such a great character. Of course, the mom, Beverly, she is just overly excited, overly as she calls it, smothering her kids. But you gotta love the two kids. The daughter's great. Goldbergs is such a good show. I love the Goldbergs. So the Goldbergs are on the list. All right, Goldbergs are on the list. I'm just looking at other ones. All right, we're going to go again into the Wayback Machine. We got 4 spots left open, and Rod has given us a lot of families here, and a lot of these are on my close list. So we'll look at some of them and see if we can get some of them in there. But I'm going into the Wayback Machine here. We're talking families here. No better family than the Addams Family. The Addams Family. Now, remember, a lot of people know them from the movies. They know them from Christina Ricci. They know them from the new Wednesday Addams show. Most people don't remember it was a black and white television program when it started, and of course you got Gomez, Morticia, every iteration of the Addams Family has been outstanding, from the black and white television show to the movies in the 90s with Raul Julia as Gomez, with Christina Ricci as Wednesday, one of my all-time favorites. And of course, Jenna Ortega playing Wednesday now. It was a hit. It's always been a hit. It's just been generational.
Where do you find that one though?
It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix.
No wonder.
It's a Netflix original. It was the second highest rated program on Netflix, of course, to Stranger Things, but we all know Stranger Things is, in its fourth season. For a first season show to be that close to Stranger Things, it was that good of a program. I loved Wednesday. Wednesday was great. All right.
Okay.
Let's see what else we have here. All right. In my family growing up, dysfunction, just because they were dysfunctional does not mean they weren't a great family. I gotta go with Roseanne.
Oh, of course.
Roseanne, they had a great family unit. Of course, a lot of people came out of that show. The daughter, of course, John Galicki was the friend that they always had over. Of course, he went on to big things with the Big Bang Theory. So, a lot of people came out of Roseanne. So, and of course, John Goodman, and all of that. Just a great iteration. All right. We got 2 spots left open, and I'm just making sure I hit everybody. All right. We're talking family here. And again, just because they were dysfunctional does not mean they were not a great family. All in the family, the Bunkers. Archie Bunker has to be on the list. All in.
I was gonna say that.
All in the family is on the list. All right, we have one more left, and I'm looking at Rod's list here. Sanford and Son, the Lopez. I'll tell you right now, Rod, I love you, but the Lopez's no. George Lopez. First off, I'm not putting George Lopez on this list, and second off, that show was horrible. I watched 3 episodes of that show and I couldn't watch it anymore. Everybody Loves Raymond. Great. The problem with putting Everybody Loves Raymond on this list is the twins were so young in that show that it's very hard to do. But I mean, you could count Ray as the son, and with the mom and dad that lived across the street. Of course, you talk about like the other character, which would be the brother Garrett. But I tend to not go Everybody Loves Raymond just because it really wasn't focused around it was more focused on Ray and his wife than it was about anything else. The Jeffersons are close. Are a close one, and I'm just trying, and I'm looking at other ones. Rod put in here. Rod gave us a good list. The Facts of Life kind of overshadowed by the Bradys, kind of overshadowed in that era. I know exactly who I need to put in, and I left them off my list, and I don't know why. Boy Meets World. The problem with Boy Meets World is you really very rarely saw the parents. Rarely did you see the parents involved. I mean, obviously you have a lot of the you have and I look, I watch Boy Meets World all the time. For some reason I know the brother's name more than I know the main character's name, but you have Sean, you had Sean the brother, and you had the main character, and then you had Mr. Feeney living next door. But you very rarely did the parents get involved in anything. So I can't put them on. I can't put, as much as I want to put Boy Meets World on the list. Yeah. I can't do it. Especially when you have something in the last slot here. I'm going with Growing Pains, the Seavers. Of course, Mark Cameron, and it was kind of it was a toss up here between Growing Pains and the Keatons from Family Ties.
So what happened to Family Ties?
Yeah, Family Ties. It was close. It was close there. I think as much as I would have loved that, because I love Michael J. Fox, and I love the dynamic of Family Ties, but I watched a lot more Growing Pains. I think it was because it was on right after Saved by the Bell that we watched more. I watched more Growing Pains growing up than I watched any of the other ones. Others that were on my list. A lot of people didn't watch this. A lot of people probably have never heard of this show, but the show, it's a show called Still Standing, and it stars. I don't even know the guy's name. I don't know the guy's name, but it stars Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones. That's where he got he got his start, was on a show called Still Standing. It was about a father. The mother was a nurse, and they kind of just went around. It was your typical family sitcom. I thought it was a great show. I think it went for about 2 or 3 seasons, and I think I was like the only one that watched it, because I don't know anybody else that knows that show. Everybody else is like, who is this guy playing Robert Baratheon? I was like, that's the dad from Still Standing, and everybody was like, who? What? No one knows that. So I wanted, as much as I wanted to put them on the list, I just couldn't do it. But Lou, you heard our list. Does anything come to mind? Anything come to mind that you could think of? Anybody we missed? No, any families that we missed? Because I think we talked about a lot of them.
I mean, you almost missed the Keaton, so luckily you got that one. Let's see. You did mention Step by Step and Family Matters.
Oh, they're in. They're in. They were in. They were top level picks.
Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show, I thought about that, and then I thought, do I really want to put Cosby? Do I really want to talk Cosby on YouTube? I don't know. I don't know if that goes against YouTube censors. So I kind of. I mean, the Huxtables are great. Are always going to be a great thing, but with all the controversy surrounding the Cosby Show now. Ugh, it's just hard. It's just hard.
I guess, but you can't do it, because that was the top family of the '80s.
Absolutely. And we got Rod on. We'll bring Rod on the stream, and we'll get our categories going.
Hey man,
add to the stream here, and
you gotta
see
put
if this
Cosby
works.
on there, man.
I don't know why this doesn't want to. Okay. All right, we're trying here. Here we go.
Hey Deeds.
Hey Rod, what's happening, man?
You gotta put the Cosby Show on there, man.
Dad, we just had this conversation. We just had this conversation. The Cosby Show was right there, and I you know, I just with all as I just said, with all the controversy surrounding the Cosby Show, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to leave off the list, but we all know why it's left off the list.
Yeah. What about?
Yes.
I don't know why StreamYard is doing this, but sure.
What about Boy Meets
It's
World?
all right. We got you. We can hear you. We can hear you, Rod. So we'll keep it going here. All right. So now that we've got our 16 on the list, now we got to get our categories, and of course we got to do the normal. We got to do the normal category. We got to do the normal categories, which is our pick, which of course just means our favorite out of them. That's how that works. Of course, we always talk about what if they got in a brawl. So we got the fight. We got the family fight. So we've got to have best. We've got to put father, mother, son, daughter. We got to put other in there. We got to put other in there as far as there's always that other character, whether it's a neighbor, whether it's somebody, Home Improvement has Wilson, Family Matters has Urkel, Step by Step has Cody. Everybody's got an other that comes on the show. So we got other on there. Of course, we've got to do funniest. Funniest is always a key to these things. I'm gonna do best most memorable episode. So I'm gonna do episode. I'm gonna do best actor / actress. And then let's see what we got here. We got 6 more categories. So if you guys have anything that makes up, I'm just looking at my list to see what we could have else.
Best TV wife.
No, we can do that. TV wife. All right, so we got 5 more categories. Then we can select the tournament here. We'll just do best overall character.
Mm-hmm.
That's gotta be in there. Just looking at what we have. We got All in the Family, and we have Married with Children. Oh, there is one that I had on my list, but they did not make it in.
With the Simpsons?
I thought about the Simpsons as a TV family, but they're cartoons. So
okay, only live action.
I kicked them into the cartoon. Plus, they won our greatest cartoon from last year, so they've already got an entrance into the tournament. Should we need them, they'll be there. So that's why I didn't put them on the list. But no, the one I was thinking of is Modern Family.
Yeah, I really didn't get into that.
I never really got into it either, but it was it was the third longest running sitcom of all time.
Really?
It was.
That's true.
Behind two on our list, so we got to put that on longest running. And the longest running sitcom of all time is Married with Children. And I remember the episode they passed, All in the Family, which was the longest running show for almost 20 years until Married with Children broke it. Until Married with Children broke it. So you got to go with that.
What about the Hillbillies? They on the list?
When he threw, the Beverly Hillbillies, that was a good one. Jed Clampett. That was another great one.
Well, we forgot one too. Bonanza. That's a family of pops, sons.
Bonanza was well before my time.
Everybody watched the reruns. These, come on, man, you watch the reruns. Everybody watched the westerns, man.
Yeah, the Western Family. It's tough. Yeah, Lou's right. It was not a sitcom, but they were a TV They were a TV family, so it was definitely countable. Look, that's why we do this Summer of Greatness the way that we do it. Because if we were to do this category again, there are always some that we miss.
There's always some.
Always going to get it, and that's why we do it this way. It's not the top 16, and we go and find somebody's list. We make these lists on the fly. So again,
you can't keep it at 16 anyway.
Well, you have to keep it at you have to get the cut off. You have to cut it off at some point.
Yeah.
It's like chocolate.
I could do an NCAA tournament of 64, but God knows it takes me long enough to get through 16 teams. If I were to do tournaments of 64, I'd be here all day. So
yeah.
So like I said, Modern Family. Yes, I'm like Rod. I never got into Modern Family, but I have watched some of the episodes. It's very good. It's very good. I never got into it at the time, and
I like that new show, The Neighbors. Though that's a good show.
Neighbors is a good show with Cedric.
Yeah, that's a good little show.
All right, so.
Oh yeah, The Neighbors, right?
You know what? That's going to be one of our categories. We'll go with Best Neighbor.
Okay.
Best Neighbor, because that's part of the family. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with, because I just want to get this thing going. We're gonna go with Best Family Unit, and we'll go with the last category will be you know what? We've got a couple in here. I'm going to say because look, everybody knows families are. We're going to go most functional family.
Damn, that's a hard one right there.
Because a lot of these, like Married with Children, like All in the Family, like Roseanne.
So you probably had to go with Happy Days.
They were as dysfunctional of a family as you could be. And so, but we know part of a family unit is being functional. So I gotta go. So I'm gonna go with that as a way of kind of doing that. Now I need wait. I have a paper bag. So I have the trusty paper bag here. So we have all of our categories. We have all of our shows. put in here, and we are going to put them into a tournament. And Lou, while I'm breaking this up, you heard all of our list. Who do you think the front runner is going in, Lou? Who would you pick? Who would you pick?
I think I have to go with the Connors.
Roseanne.
The show now that the Connors is Roseanne.
Roseanne, the Connors. Nice. Good pick. Not a bad pick. Rod, what about you, Rod? What about you, Rod?
For the most stable family, you had to probably go with all. You know what I mean? The Fawn show. What's the Fawn show called again? Richie's
Happy Days.
Happy Days. You gotta go with that family.
Yeah,
you gotta go with that family.
The Cunningham's got the Cunningham.
You gotta go with the Cunninghams.
Richie Cunningham, of course. Richie Cunningham. The father was great in that show.
Yeah.
The father was great. Of course, everybody remembers Arthur Fonzarelli, but the father really made Happy Days what it is.
It's like another show with it. The father made it. Like, you look at the 70s show. Red made the show.
Oh yeah. Oh, Red Father. Yeah. That was another one. That was another one that I thought of. That 70 show is another one that was high on my list, but just a bit.
Didn't make it.
Just couldn't make the cut. All right, so I gotta go. I'm sticking to my gun. I'm sticking to my gun here. I'm sticking with the Bundys. I think the Bundys were just such a great family, great dynamic, and of course. Of course, Al Bundy is one of my favorite characters of all time. So I
like Archie's up there for me too. Archie Bunker.
I love Archie Bunker.
My favorite episode when Sammy Davis Jr. kissed him on the face. That's the favorite episode.
What's funny is they tried. If you remember a couple years back, they tried to do like a remake.
It was terrible.
Like a live action version of All in the Family. And I was like, there's no way this is going to work. And of course it completely bombed. But I was like, you cannot do that in today's marketplace. You cannot have the point of Archie Bunker was that he was
not PC.
Not PC, and for lack of a better word, he was a bigot. That was the whole point was he was so set in his ways of the old school ways that he didn't approve. Let's just throw the cards on the table. He did not approve of black people. He did not approve of his daughter being anything but a housewife, and didn't agree.
Well, the one episode that showed him improved though is when he had a black maid and he didn't let nobody disrespect her though. So Archie did have a good heart.
That was the whole thing in the show is that he had these thoughts. He had his ways, but he always came around. He always came around and grew on them. And you mentioned the Sammy Davis Jr. episode, which was at the time was as controversial of an episode as you could get at the time that it aired. And over time, when you look at it, but that was why when they tried to redo it, they tried to take all of that stuff out, and I was like, you can't take that away from his character. Like that's what made him great, was that he overcame all of that. He basically showed you. He basically showed people that, people have these thoughts, but it doesn't mean that they're awful, terrible people. It just means they have outdated thoughts and they can be changed. So it's something important to talk about when we talk about All in the Family. But all right, here we go. And I got it up. Now I just have to make up the bracket here. And while I do that, Rod, I know we have a interesting program going on at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. You want to fill us in on what's going on the lunch crew tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to be talking about who is the greatest kicker of all time. You know what I mean? I'm going with Automatic Adam.
It's another one of these debates, and the funny thing about that debate is it's going to come down to what you're looking for in a kicker.
Yeah, because
as we always talk about, and the reason we do the Summer of Greatness is we talk about who's the most skilled. There's no question about it. Justin Tucker is the most skilled kicker of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Most powerful leg, most all of that. But what makes someone great is iconic moments, which Adam Vinatieri has by the handful.
You got too many of them.
So we will. We'll get into that. We'll get into that tomorrow. So that'll be something tomorrow at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Join Rod and myself, and probably more cast of characters, because I know Rod's got a lot of Ravens fans, so I'm sure they're going to be chomping at the bit to get their Justin Tucker love going. But we'll flesh all that out on the lunch crew tomorrow. But while I was setting it up, I just wanted to get that short plug in there. All right, here we go. As everybody knows, we make it a bracket tournament, and just making sure nobody was waiting on the line to get in. All right, and if you're playing at home, this is the top left-hand bracket. Top left bracket. The first pick out is my three sons. My three sons at the first top. So we got three sons is at the top of the bracket. All right. We are now picking bottom left bracket. Bottom left bracket. Here we go. We're getting out. Oh, we have married with children in the bottom left-hand bracket. Now we move to the right side of the bracket. Right side of the bracket. This is top right. If you're playing at home, we have all in the fit. We have all in the family. We just talked about it. So we have all in the family. All right, here we go. All in the family is on the list. Now we have bottom right. This is the bottom right. We have wrong one. Full House. Full House. The Tanners. Full House, of course, Bob Saget, John Stamos, all the crew in there on bottom right. All right, this is top. Now we go to the top left. This is top left. This is the bottom of the three sons bracket, and we have 8 simple rules. 8 simple rules. So we have. I'm just gonna put rules just because I write too big. All right. Now this is the top of the left. This is the bottom left bracket, but this is the top of the bracket. This is across from Married with Children. We have the Addams family. The Addams family. Gomez, Morticia, Wednesday. They are in the same bracket with Married with Children. Now, this is all in the family bracket on the right side. This is the bottom part of that bracket. We have the Bradys, the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. Not to be mistaken with a certain quarterback. Not that Brady. The first of the Bradys. The original Bradys. And in the Full House bracket, we have the Connors, Roseanne, Roseanne making the list. All right, so now we get the matchups. As here we go, my three sons versus Family Matters. Family Matters. Of course, Carl Winslow, Steve Urkel, and the gang getting in there. All right. This is eight simple rules. 8 simple rules versus Home Improvement. The Taylors. Home Improvement on the list. Tim Allen, Zachary Ty Bryan, JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Lots to do there. All right. The Addams Family versus Step by Step. Step by Step. Again, so underrated. I was actually watching a lot of the episodes of Step by Step on Hulu. It was fantastic. I love that. I loved that show.
Yeah. All
right. And we have Married with Children versus the Goldbergs. Wow, what a matchup. What a first round matchup that is. All right, All in the Family. Again, this is the right side of the bracket. All in the Family versus Malcolm in the Middle.
Good.
Malcolm in the Middle. The Hex versus the Bunkers. Here we go. The Brady Bunch versus the Seavers of Growing Pains. So Growing Pains on the list. Kirk Cameron. All of that going on. All right, we got two more. We got Roseanne versus Fresh Prince. Another monster matchup in the first round. And of course, that leaves what a bracket at the bottom here. We have Full House. I'm pretty sure I know which one this is. Yep. Full House versus Happy Days.
Jeez.
We got monster matchups here, guys. This is a lot. So Lou, you've heard the brackets. Now that you've heard the brackets, you picked Roseanne at the start. You've seen the bracket. Are you going to stick with Roseanne, or are you going to switch? Are you going to switch your pick?
I'm going to switch.
You're going to switch?
Yes.
Who are you going with?
Yes. Happy Days.
You're going to go with Happy Days, even though Happy Days is in the same bracket as Roseanne. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. And Rod had to step out. So I just want to thank Rod for jumping in. Thank Rod for all his contribution to the program, to our list, getting us in here. Of course, if you want to be in the list, by all means, jump in the chat, help us out. If you're listening to this later on, let us know in the comments. Let us know if we got them right. Let us know what we're doing. But of course, it is by category. So now we do head to head, and it is whatever category that is. So whether we like the program or not, we have to judge it based on the category as is stated. That's how the Summer of Greatness works. Now, all right, Lou, the first matchup is My Three Sons versus Family Matters, and unfortunately for My Three Sons, this is going to be a problem. Who had the better daughter? Well, there was no daughter in My Three Sons, so it's pretty much a.
There was a stepdaughter later by getting the account.
Right, but it doesn't make up for Family Matters.
Okay.
Family Matters was based around the fact that they had a daughter. So Family Matters moves on.
Right.
That's it. That's an easy one. There's not even a debate in that one.
Even though they had Endor in the later years because the father remarried.
Yeah, he did. But again, it was late. It was later. It was later on. It was very late. Very late.
1969.
Very late in the process. All right. Home Improvement versus 8 Simple Rules, and the category is who had the better neighbor. This one's easy.
Yeah.
This one was written for Home Improvement. Wilson, even though you never saw his face, the best thing I remember from Home Improvement was the final episode when they called the entire cast out. And Wilson came out with the fence in front of his face.
That's right. I remember that.
So, Wilson was definitely the better. As much as I love 8 Simple Rules, as much as I love that program, and I will talk about the program all the time, and I talked about it before, greatest episode of television in the history of television. Based on the category I got, I can't do it. I can't go against Wilson. All right. The Addams Family versus Step by Step. And we have better actor / actress. And again, this is the TV family. This is TV version. So we're not putting the new iterations in. We're not putting Raul Julia, Christina Ricci, because that just complicates a lot of things. Step by this one's who had the better actor / actress. The best actor out of Addams Family and Step by Step. The best actor is Patrick Duffy.
All right.
I mean.
Huh?
Yeah. I still think Patrick Duffy takes it. I think Patrick Duffy is the best. I think he outshines everybody. When you go down that whole cast of everybody, I think it's Patrick Duffy. So I'm moving step by step is moving on. Again, in the comments, let us know if you think we got any of these wrong. By all means, let us know in the comment section. We will we'll definitely address them. All right. Goldberg's versus Married with Children, and it is who had the better other. Now I'm trying to remember her name from the Goldbergs. And this is the problem with the Goldbergs are great because the Goldbergs are the show. There's not really anybody else that gets in except for the brother's girlfriend, who is the girl I was trying to think of, but I can't even think of her name. Married with Children, the others are first the Rhodeses and then the Darcys. So it's Marcy. Marcy, Steve, and Jefferson. They're the better others. So Married with Children is moving on.
Oh, definitely.
All right. All in the Family versus Malcolm in the Middle. Oh, almost lost the marker there, but we're okay. All right. All in the Family versus Malcolm in the Middle. And it is in our pick. So, Lou, All in the Family or Malcolm in the Middle? Who's the better family? It's in our pick. So,
All in the Family, definitely.
All in the Family. I'm going All in the Family as well. As much as I love Malcolm in the Middle, when you talk TV families, the Bunkers are one of the top. They're going to win that a lot of times. So All in the Family is on the list. Is moving on. All right, Growing Pains versus the Brady Bunch. Growing Pains versus the Brady Bunch. Longest running program. I without doing any research on this at all, just off the top of my head, the Brady Bunch ran forever. Growing Pains.
5 years. 5 years.
How many? They only did 5 years?
5 years. Actually, 4.5.
Wow.
1674.
Wow. It seemed like they ran for.
Yeah, the thing is that nobody really even watched it during its original run. The popularity came in the reruns.
Wow. That is interesting.
And Growing Pains ran 8 seasons.
Wow. So Growing Pains is moving on. That's a shocker because I never would have thought that. Never would have thought that in a million years. I've seen so many episodes of the Brady Bunch. Wow.
The thing is, you're telling reruns is that the reruns started back in 73, but the original run ended in 74. Growing Pains began in 85, and the original run lasted until 92.
Wow.
So in terms of first run, Growing Pains lasted longer. And for the record, All in the Family ran 12 years if you combine the two series together. Some counts the same series, some don't, depending how you look at it.
Yeah. And then of course, Married with Children went 15. It went 15. It probably went more than that, but I remember they broke the record for most episodes in season 15, and I think it went on to 18 seasons. If I'm
11 seasons.
11 seasons.
11.
I know they broke the record for most episodes because I remember they did a bit. I remember they did a big thing about it when they did it. So
probably because they had more episodes during that time span, but in terms of longevity, they ran 11 seasons.
Yeah, 11 seasons for a TV show is a lot.
I lived through all this stuff.
Yeah. All right. So we have Roseanne versus Fresh Prince, and who's the better family unit? And Lou, I think it's a good idea that, look, as a family unit, the Connors were as dysfunctional as you could get.
Exactly.
The Banks family, they at least have some semblance of a family unit. So I gotta move Fresh Prince on. So Fresh Prince moving on against Roseanne. All right, Happy Days versus Full House. This is a monster matchup in the first round, and we have better TV wife, and this is where Full House is in trouble because there is no wife.
Yeah.
There's no wife in the entire. The only one who gets married is Uncle Jesse marries Becky, or so. Yeah, no fault to it, but she was not a TV mom. She was pretty much the mom character in the show, but she was not a wife to anybody really. So Happy Days is moving on. So Happy Days moving on to face Fresh Prince. All right, now I gotta. It's okay. I just dropped the markers. It's okay. All right, here we go. Second round matchup, we have Family Matters versus Home Improvement, Step by Step versus Married with Children, All in the Family versus Growing Pains, and Fresh Prince versus Happy Days. So here we go. Family Matters versus Home Improvement in a second round matchup, and the category is better character. Who had Lou? Who do you think had the better character? Who do you think would have the best character out of Home Improvement and Family Matters? Who was the best character?
I'm going to say Family Matters. I'll say it in one word. Who else?
Ooh, you went with Urkel. You know what, Lou?
Did I do that?
I'll give it to you. Urkel is a great character. I personally, if this were me, I would have gone with Tim Taylor. Tim Taylor was a great character. Tim Allen played him perfectly. I thought he was awesome. But you said Urkel, and you know what? I'll agree with you on that one. I can't say he wasn't a great character. Everybody knows who Urkel is.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Step by Step versus Married with Children. This is a tough matchup. Tough matchup for me. This is my top. This is my top two. My top two going at it. My top two faves going at it. So this is a tough one for me. But we have, who was the better mother? Peggy Bundy or Suzanne Summers? This one, I don't think this one's even close. I don't think this one's even close. But Lou, who you got? It's Suzanne Summers. As much as I love Married with Children, and I picked them to win, Peggy Bundy is not beating anybody out as a mother. As a character, she was fantastic. But as a mother and a wife, she was an awful human being, and that's what made the show great. But so step by step, moving on to a championship round. All right, All in the Family versus Growing Pains. All in the Family versus Growing Pains, and we have. Which one was funny? Which one was the funniest? Funniest out of them all? Lou, funniest out of All in the Family or Growing Pains? Which one you got?
Well, it's kind of a toss-up because they were sitcoms, but they both dealt with, very sensitive topics. Yeah, I'm going to go All in the Family. I'm
going to go All in the Family as well. When you're talking funny, Archie Bunker is one of the funniest characters of all time. So All in the Family is going to take that just based on the fact that they have Archie Bunker and Growing Pains doesn't. All right. All right, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus Happy Days, and we have. Ooh. Best episode. Best episode versus best episode. I got to think here. Most memorable episodes. There are a lot of Fresh Prince episodes that I liked, that I gravitate to. The one where Will goes off to college is one of the greatest. It's such a great episode. The one where he gets in a he gets in a fight because he doesn't want to go back home, but his mom wants to bring him home, and he has to fight to stay there. That's such a memorable episode, but but it's Happy Days. Happy Days has the so many episodes. Arthur. Anything with the Fonz was so good, but the one where the biker gang comes to the restaurant and Fonz has to fight him off. That's one of my favorite episodes. So I'm going with Happy Days. What do you think, Lou?
No doubt about it. Happy Days all the way.
I think it's Happy Days. So Happy Days. Moving on. What what a matchup going into the final round here. Championship rounds. Yeah. We have Family Matters. We have Family Matters versus Step by Step, which is a TGIF matchup. Family Matters used to be. I remember it used to start at 7:00, 7:00 Eastern time. You had Family Matters at 7, Full House at 7:30, Step by Step at 8, and then there was another. Then there was always a rotating one that they would put at the back. At the back end of it, they would put another. They would put another show. They tried so many different shows at 9:30, at the 8:30 slot, and then 9:00 you would get the ABC. They'd have like a drama. They'd have some kind of drama show or something on after, or like a movie of the week type thing.
I think you meant. I think you mean from 8 to 10. 7 and 9 would be the central time zones. I think with 8 to 10 here, they had the TGA Friday.
Okay. I always remember they used to do them, and then there was like an hour before the 10:00 news. So I know they tried to get them in early because they knew families wanted to. That was family viewing. So they tried to.
Yeah, I think they did 2020 after that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, 2020 was usually on at 10:00. Usually would come on at 10:00.
Yeah.
But either way, all I'm trying to say is Family Matters was the first would open, and then Step by Step would be what was the second out was the start of the second hour. It was Family Matters, Full House, Step by Step, and then the rotating whatever show they were trying to push after that, and then you'd go on. But but either way, it's TGIF on one side, and then we have the old school bracket of All in the Family and Happy Days. So 2 of these are moving on to a championship round. So I got to get a championship marker here. Marker. So here we go. All right. Family Matters versus Step by Step. And we have the category is Best Son. Best Son. Lou, what do you got? Who had the better son? Family Matters.
No, I think I'm gonna say Family Matters.
I believe it was Theo, right? Theo was the son, right? I believe that was his name.
Yes.
I believe his name was Theo. Eddie. Okay. I'm just trying to think of who they were. As much as I want to put up a debate, I can't do it. I can't do it. Step by Step, the sons were great. Mark, JT, all the sons were, well, there were two of the sons were Patrick Duffy's kids, and then Mark was Suzanne Summers' kid. And Mark was kind of the nerd. I really never liked Mark, just because he was the nerdy kid. Like I really didn't identify with him all that much. JT was kind of the dumb jock kind of kid. And then you had the other little, very little son, who he got more play later on in the seasons, but really didn't have much to do. Step by Step was really run by the daughters. That's what they ran the household, and so I gotta go with Lou on this one. Family Matters moving on to the finals. So Family Matters is moving on to a finals round against All in the Family or Happy Days, and All in the Family versus Happy Days, and we have if they were to get in a fight, if there were a fight, who would win the fight? All in the Family or Happy Days? Lou, I think this one's easy.
Think so?
I think so.
Probably I think you're gonna say All in the Family.
If there's a fight, you think I'm going against Arthur Fonzarelli? Happy Days has Arthur he has the Fonz. The Fonz can punch a jukebox and make it work. I'm not going against Arthur Fonzarelli in a fight. So Happy Days is moving on.
My worst day.
So Family Matters versus Happy Days in the final round here. And the final round category is, wow, what a matchup. Who had the better father? Who is the best father out of them? And the last category should be, and the last one was more functional. That's where that one's not in. Functional is out. It is Family Matters versus Happy Days. Who was the better father? Carl Winslow, or I'd have to look up the name for the father from or the Cunningham's father. Who do you got, Lou?
I got the Cunningham's father.
Really? See, this is a tough one for me because Family Matters, I know Carl Winslow is burned in my brain. The Cunningham father, I don't even know his name. I can't. I'd have to look up his name, and that to me says it's got to be Carl Winslow.
Okay.
That's my argument. I want to say, in the show in Happy Days, both of these shows pretty much run through the father. The other thing is Family Matters is really about Carl Winslow and his family unit. Happy Days is not really, it's really about Richie Cunningham and the Fonz and what they do. And the father is, the family is kind of just there. So that to me puts it more, Family Matters was more centered on Carl Winslow and, his decisions really drove the show. So I'm going to go with Family Matters. I'm going to go with Family Matters as our greatest TV family is Family Matters. If you have a problem with it, get at me in the comments. Give me your comments. Let me know if we got it right, we got it wrong. But I can't, look, I didn't pick them. Nobody picked them out of the start, but I can't argue. I'm okay with Family Matters being in there. Again, Carl Winslow, great character. Urkel, great character. So, I watched Family Matters every Friday night as a kid. I watched Family Matters. So, big props to Family Matters, and not to mention, Carl Winslow has played every time he was on TV, he was a cop. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything where he's not a cop. Die Hard, he's a cop. Ghostbusters, he's the cop. He's Ghostbusters. He's the guy in the jail cell. He's the cop that gets him out. Well, that's in the first one.
Okay.
He's the cop that comes in. Ghostbusters. The mayor wants to speak with you.
Yeah.
that's Carl Winslow. He's a cop. I'm like, is this guy ever not a cop? Like he was a cop on Family Matters. He was a cop in Die Hard. He's a cop here. Every time I see him on TV, every time I see him in a movie, he plays a cop. It's so weird. All right. So that's our show. That's our show for today. That's our tournament. Before we get out of here, I want to reiterate what I said at the start of the program. Jane, sorry to see your program come to an end, but I know there are bigger, better things for you, and I wish you the best. And to all the people there, Kryptonian Jedi, Highlander, Abe, all the people that I met through the chat, through chatting on Jane's live stream. So awesome. We're all in the Discord. I hope we get to hang out some more. Watch Jane play. Watch Jane while she plays video game, while she plays Conan, while she plays Starship Troopers, and we get to ham it up, chat in there. Jane, you've inspired this program. You've inspired the things I'm doing outside of this program. So, just because your YouTube channel ended doesn't mean your impact doesn't end. We keep it going, and that's what this community is all about. Even when Fit Down comes off, there will be more people that are inspired by our program. There will be more people inspired by Snowman's program, by Rod's program. There will be more people that keep this going. Lou's program, everybody that is everybody that keeps it going. So even though Jane's program has ended, it doesn't end there. That's just one door. As I said yesterday in the stream, when one door closes, another one opens, and we'll continue the fight against Hollywood. This is why we do the Summer of Greatness, to remember the good time, to remember all the good stuff that's out there. Speaking of, next week is an important program. I do want to say Saturday, if you're in Connecticut, Billy's Stag Party in Branford. It'll be at the Italian Americans Club, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be there. We'll be doing raffles, prizes. We'll have bago games, or cornhole, as some people call it. But we'll be doing a cornhole tournament. We'll be doing a poker tournament, 50-50 poker tournament. However many people we get in, however much we get in the pot, 50 of it goes to the bride and groom, 50% goes to the pot, and we'll see how many, we'll see how many winners there are. I'm looking to do third place gets money back. And third place gets money back. Second place gets 25%, and winner gets 75% of the overall pot. That's the way we're going to look at it. But we're going to do that. Of course, there'll be music, there'll be food, beverage. It'll be good times. So everybody check that out on Saturday, and then. And then if I survive the stag party on Saturday, we'll be back here Sunday. Sunday, I will be down at Z's, because we will be doing the greatest sing-along song. And that means song that comes on the radio that you immediately sing along, that you sing along to the entire time. That song that comes on in the bar and everybody is singing along. So we're going to have 16 songs, and it's the best sing along song I have a special guest lined up to help us with our picking. So be ready for that. And of course, everybody, you are more than welcome to join us. We'll be on the same time, probably earlier next week because I'll be at the bar. So it'll be probably 2:00 as opposed to 3. But that's the schedule moving forward. And of course, so next week we have greatest sing-along song. I am desperately kind of floating this out there, trying to make this happen. I want to get Jane on to do greatest fantasy when we do our greatest fantasy, and I want to do that, but I got to do that after the greatest sing along because I already scheduled the guests to come in on this show on that show to help us out. And look, nobody. There's a reason why I brought this guest in. You'll find out when she comes on, but it'll be awesome. Lou, anything you want to plug or get in before we get out of here?
Yeah, don't forget, my show runs the NES Sports Show Saturday. It's 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a live call-in program. Calling at 512-543-4662. Repeat again, 512-543-4662. If you thought July was going to be a dull month in the sports world, think again because it's more busy than I ever thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and
so I call with the
and next week we got the All-Star game.
We got the All-Star game, the SB Awards. We'll do the matches for the Women's World Cup Soccer Tournament. So we'll recap Wimbledon. So we got a lot going on Saturday. So if you guys can find the time, don't hesitate to call. A lot to do. Have a great program. Have a great program. Unfortunately, I won't be able to join you next week, Lou, because I will be hopefully I will be. I should be still standing by then, but stag party. You never know. Right.
You never know what happens at a stag party, but hopefully I will be running the poker. Hopefully I'll be running the poker tournament. If I can get in the poker tournament, that'd be awesome. But I think I'm just gonna run it from the sidelines. But we'll see. But like I said, Billy's stag party on Saturday. It'll be fun. Congratulations to Billy and Erica. And all of that. Of course, Thursday, I mentioned it earlier in the show, Monday, tomorrow, 11 o'clock, I'll be on the lunch crew with Rod. We'll be hamming it up, talking greatest kicker of all time. So we'll ham that up on the lunch crew. And then Thursday, I'll be on Snowman in the morning. Hamming it up with Snowman, figuring something out. There's always something that we manage to bring when we go totally deets on Thursdays. You never know where it's going to go. Sports, entertainment, music, anything's on the table for totally deets Thursdays on Snowman in the morning. So everybody listen to that. Everybody check out Snowman. Subscribe to Snowman. Subscribe here. Do all the stuff, all of that, all the YouTube kind of stuff. And with that, we're going to get out of here. Family Matters, moving on, joining. I should say. And by the way, thanks, Lou, for joining us. And we'll talk to you next week, bud. All right. I have to look at my list. All right. So Family Matters joins Tupac, the reigning champion. Tupac is the reigning champion of champions. So he has, again, the belt cannot be won. It cannot be lost unless someone beats him. So Tupac is still the champion until someone knocks him off. Of course, we had greatest sporting event, college football. greatest movie theme song, Ghostbusters. We had greatest father-child. We had our Father's Day episode, which was the Flairs, Rick and Charlotte Flair. We had greatest college quarterback, Vince Young. So Vince Young is on the list. TV Family is now Family Matters. The Winslows are in. So they will be entered into our Champions of Champions tournament at the end of the summer. So we'll get all of that going. Join us for that. All right. On that note, everything you heard here is, of course, you have to end it with this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.